Cover the windows. Draw the circle. Light the candles.
Wait, what are we doing?
Oh, I found this instructions online on how to summon the devil.
Oh,
And I thought if we did that, we could challenge him to like a fiddle contest or something and get our lives back and stop being zombies.
I would. Is that really, you think, the only way we can do it?
Yeah, we could maybe watch movies instead of playing fiddles, but like something like that.
Shit. Okay. You know what? I'm already a zombie. Fuck it. I'm in.
Okay.
What do we gotta do?
So now we have to chant the invocation of ultimate evil.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Oh, all right. I see it right there. Okay.
Give Neil Breen more money.
Give Neil Breen more money.
Who dares summon his infernal majesty?
Holy shit, it worked.
Where's Neil Breen?
Oh, sorry, 3 doors down that way. I'll page him.
Satan, you're here.
In the flesh. What puny mortals have summoned me?
Well, I'm Dustin.
And I'm Patrick.
And we're the Found on Shelf podcast. We summoned you.
And we host a podcast every week on like the weirdly strange and the strangely weird. You've probably heard of us in hell, right?
Is that why you've got me mic'd up right now?
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. This is kind of a new one for me, gang.
Well, you can't pass up you can't pass up an opportunity to generate more content.
I mean, I am a big fan of the endless slaving grind of capitalism. So let's get on board with this, gang. It's pretty on brand.
So like, we're both dead and reanimated zombies. I don't know if that's obvious.
Kind of undead.
I noticed a distinct odor. Yes.
Yeah.
We would like to not be dead, and we were wondering if there was like a contest, where we could.
You've invoked the rule of Johnny.
Yeah, we heard something about a fiddle and a thing, and we thought if we could come up with something, I don't know, that we could try to play a game with you and have you if we win, then you turn us not into zombies anymore. Back to the
I am amenable, although I warn you, I have yet to lose a game. I will allow you to name the terms of our contest. Will it be swords or music?
I think it could be torture.
It could be torture. Well, like, have you ever seen a movie that was so bad you couldn't sit through it?
I mean, the last movie I saw in theaters was like Endgame, and like COVID happened, and the theaters shut down.
Right, of course.
I'm more of a literary guy, if that makes sense.
Right.
But I will not be bested.
Hold on, Satan. Can we have a minute, Satan? I want to ask Patrick something here, real quick.
Carry on.
Should we show him a movie?
Yeah, I was going through it, and it's like we've already done the nostril picker, so that's out.
Yeah.
We've done the room, but that's really not. That's really washable. Is there something so bad that even the devil would try to chunk it into the fiery pits of hell?
Oh. Well, no. Shit. I have an idea, but if I say it, that means that we might actually have to watch it.
I mean, what could it possibly be?
Do you remember the movie that kind of started me wanting to torture you with movies for the podcast?
Right, Dr. Zhivago.
No.
Stalker?
No. Oh God, I don't even want to say it. It's so bad. But this is the only way. Look, we got to torture Satan. We got to win this contest. There is only one movie I can possibly think of.
Hey, can anybody drink these Diet Pepsis?
Is that the Diet Caffeine-free Pepsi? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm watching my figure.
He's shorter than I thought he'd be.
Yeah. Weird. Yeah. Kind of impish. A little Danny DeVito-ish.
Yeah, just a little bit. You don't mean things.
Yes. Look, I don't want to watch it. You don't want to watch it. There's no way he wants to watch it.
It's the only way out.
I think so.
Hey, BLZ. Good news.
Yes.
We've picked the film.
Very well. Jesus God. Jesus, Mary, Joseph, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? I don't have words. What the fuck was that?
I think that's what we call a win.
No, we're not just skating past that. We're not being glib about what just happened. I just had to watch that with my own eyes. What was that?
Yep, that was Things.
That was Things.
That
Satan, you have just experienced Things.
I feel like I have to talk about it.
Let's talk about it a little bit before we
need to talk about Things.
Christ, I can't just fucking let that go. Do you mind if I smoke in here? I mean, I'm going to do it anyway. But, you know, it's polite.
I mean, we're still dead, so go ahead.
Fair. Oh, Jesus Christ! I'm going to need like 7 more of those. Okay, so
you don't stop at 6.
Please. That was. You said that was a movie, right? We just watched was a movie.
Allegedly.
Like, allegedly, and like. People worked on this, right? I read those credits right. There were a lot of people in those credits.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I fucking can't.
All right, Patrick, why don't you go ahead and kick us off here? Let's get talking about this.
Sure. So, Things is a movie. Things was made in 1989. It is the passion effort of a bunch of first-time filmmakers in Canada. So the reason it's allowed to exist is because of video. This is what we call an SOV film. Particularly, Things is specifically is an SOV Canuxploitation film. Canuxploitation being Canadian B movies that were made in like the 80s and 90s. They usually get roped into Canuxploitation. There are other examples, but they've lost my. But they've just fled from my brain because I've seen Things, and it's hard to really keep focus on any one particular aspect of anything. In the Things.
I mean, having a thirst for brains and trying to keep information in your brain is just hard.
Yeah. So Things. The reason we're doing Things is there's a couple of reasons. One, it's the only way to get our lives back, but also think about it. Really follows pretty closely with what we just did last week. We did an SOV movie from 19. Is it 80? When did they record that one?
I want to say it was 89.
Yeah, and this was actually also recorded and released in 89. It might have been recorded earlier. It was released in 89. It's actually kind of interesting because it draws a lot of interesting parallels with other do-it-yourself movies at the time. Notably, Winter Beast, from 1986, is also kind of like this like cabin horror movie, but much more like a focus on like having sets. This still makes no goddamn sense, but Things is its own league.
I watched the episode on Winter Beast. There was fucking effort. They at least fucking tried on that. You're gonna tell me that fucking Johnny Suits over there wasn't trying? Jesus Christ.
Yes, and we all worship at the altar of our plaid-suited god. But in this, and Stillman speaks for himself. But aside from Winter Beast, Things is a movie that we watched. So I'll dial it back a little. The first time I heard about Things was through Alamo Drafthouse. They used to do a lot of screenings for films, and they still do. But what they used to do is before they would do like a special showing or screening, they'd have like a whole article come out on a news site or a blog, explaining why this was important. So they'd show like female prisoner Scorpion and then tell you the history of Pinky violence films, things like that. And in this particular instance, they had an article that just said, if you are interested in movies, you should see Things. And the article presented this movie as one of those so bad it's good type films, which is what we kind of specialize, is what I'm obsessed with. So I'm like, this has got to be awesome. But I wasn't able to go to that screening. So like a year or two later, I decide I'm going to acquire this film. So I go out and take the effort to go and acquire Things. And I try to watch it. And I have already given Dustin a copy of this film, I think, at this point. So I gave Dustin a copy.
I watched 20 minutes of it and I screamed and shut it off.
Well, that's what happened with me. I watched 15 minutes and I rage quit this movie. And I was so angry at this movie. Every time I even thought about this movie existing, I would get like literally angry. And it took me 3 years to finally watch it. Now, in that time, Dustin had watched it to completion and then blamed me for that.
Valid.
I did not force his hand here. This is but eventually on the last drive-in, they did show it, and so I said, "Fuck it, I'll finally watch it." So I made it all the way through that time. Things does have a plot, theoretically, or at least it's been accused of having a plot of these two guys. They go to hang out at his either sister or brother's house. They're a couple, the sister and brother. I'm not sure if it's his sister or his sister-in-law. I'm not sure. The Wikipedia says it's his sister, but watching the movie, I thought it was his brother. So I thought he was there for the husband.
They're brothers. They're brothers.
Okay, so the article may be wrong, but anyway, so they're brothers. He goes to hang out at their house, and his brother and his wife are living somewhere in the remote woods, but it's just a house somewhere.
Before we get too far into it, should we have Satan give an elevator pitch?
I guess we should.
I would pitch it thusly. This is the single most accurate depiction of a weekend.
We literally cannot run with that joke. You know that, right? You have to pick a different joke. No one is safe. Don't understand. I've seen shit get vaporized off the timeline.
Okay. It is the single most accurate retelling of.
Okay. That's a lot about I don't know. If I were to describe the experience of watching,
I could tell you.
Oh, the things. If I were to offer an alternative, at least analogy of this film, I would describe it like. Are either of you familiar with the concept of a Eurodynamics test?
Does it have to do with this?
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
So if they're trying to figure out what's wrong with your pelvic floor, what they're going to do is they're going to shove a tube up your ass, and then they're going to shove a different tube down your urethra. And then they're just going to start pumping things in and out. And it's so barbaric and so disorienting to think about that. That's what this movie feels like. Just disorienting, barbaric torture.
I've had half of that done to me, and I did not enjoy that. Let you guess which half that was.
I'd prefer not to, personally.
If we think about it in a minute, we might peg it down.
I'm pretty sure Satan was there to watch.
I will neither confirm nor deny. I don't kiss and tell. That's what we call it, by the way, the devil's kiss.
Oh, no, it wasn't that in, my friends. You ever get pumped with a bunch of, what was that? It was like this
numbing the time.
It was numbing gel in the urethra, which is very fun. I would actually rather do that than watch this movie again now.
It's like TV static for your nether regions.
I did. It's going to be painful, but I did have a trailer for it. The trailer's like 3 minutes long, and it's almost as painful as watching the movie.
Why is it 3 minutes long? What happens?
Because we want to be human again. That's what happened.
I don't want to play anymore.
Well, Satan, I'm going to play this trailer just for you.
Don't make me go back.
Hi, and welcome to TV9 News. I'm Amberlynn.
It's already too long.
I've heard that before.
I do like how they led with Amberlynn. They know their target audience.
Yep. Yeah, just keep going. They eventually say something.
Really?
Here you go.
Does that have my baby?
Yeah.
I never thought I'd have to live with the dead. He's dead. I know he's dead. Oh no! What did I do?
They were being sought after in a nationwide manhunt.
God, it's like a root canal for my brain.
Oh shit.
Take those urethra tooth and shove them in my ear.
God, is it still going?
Oh, yeah.
Things, a horrifying sensation that'll rip apart your soul.
Sir, I need you to back away from the microphone, please.
The real reason I wanted to play that was just for that stupid.
I need you to stop cleaning your tonsils with the mic. So, look, before you two chuckle fucks say anything, I'm going to be upfront with all the listeners at home who are curious what has caused the devil such torment. That trailer, congratulations, you've seen things. There is nothing of value to be gained from watching the full movie that you could not gain from watching the trailer.
No,
Live your lives. Go to church.
When Satan's telling you to go to church, you know.
Go to church. Kiss your wives. Kiss your husbands.
Although I have to say that's one of the more accurate trailers I've ever witnessed, because it's just as completely shitty as the movie.
So Satan, I think that you're wrong. The trailer, there's something you gain by watching the movie that you don't with the trailer, and that is a sense of frustration and pain that never leaves you.
Mm-hmm.
So really, I can see why the devil's opposed to this. It really feels more Catholic.
I'm not going to lie. I feel a little bit more redundant knowing this movie exists. Like, I feel like my job. I didn't know you could outsource the devil, but you've done it. Congratulations.
2 guys in Toronto in 1989.
I didn't think it would be the Canadians, but fuck around, find out, I guess.
That niceness is just a shield. They're just sneaky.
So, yeah, I'm going to give a quick rundown of what the plot is, because we're not talking about this film in any kind of linear fashion. And
oh, come on. This movie was great. There's lots of stuff to talk about.
Oh, there's lots of stuff to talk about, but there's no way we're going to paint a through line.
I'll just leave this running in the background the whole time while I don't think you can hear it, so that's good.
No, we can. Please stop.
Okay, good. No, I'll just leave it going for a while.
No, we are not doing it.
I don't know what's happening right now.
I can sample and repeat that. Please don't let it run in the actual audio.
I don't know what's happening. I'm afraid.
I've got a clean take. I can run it through.
Okay, so go ahead and keep talking about.
Okay, I was waiting. The thing about it, stop that! God damn it!
You recognize you're coping, right? You're delaying the inevitable with jokes. I see it a lot in my line of work. Like, you use humor to deflect from the pain, and I respect it. I respect the process.
Let me get these 2 seconds of this 20 seconds of boring shit out the way, and we could talk about the unending torment that is things.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Doug, I think it's Doug, and his wife want to have a baby, but they can't. So they hire a mad scientist.
As you do.
Right.
Please stop.
I want you to have my baby. The audio work on this movie has got to be the worst I've ever heard in any movie ever made.
That's what I want to talk about. We're going to one segue. We're going to back to the audio. They want to have a baby. Mad scientist. They can hire a mad scientist to try and help their fertility. He injects her with something that makes her give birth to monsters, kill her, giving birth to her, and then the monsters are everywhere. And then inexplicably, they start shifting through dimensions, and also there are zombies. That's the movie Things. Okay, now let's talk about the goddamn audio.
Yeah, it's not good.
Okay, so did you notice something about the audio? I know, Satan, did you notice anything about the audio specifically?
I'm not going to lie. I clawed my own ears off about 20 minutes in.
I have tinnitus, so I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, I'll be 100% honest. I did not notice much difference in the quality pre-clawing versus post-clawing. It was all just generally horse shit. You know, I was once torturing this guy, and I did it by repeating the double mint gum ad in his brain for 73,000 years. And I'm not gonna lie, after seeing the audio from this movie, preferable to this.
Well, now you have a new form of torture to use.
I've already got top men on it.
Good.
So, besides men topping double mint commercials,
what?
The question is, Dustin, do you know what's wrong with the audio?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't know. I think the audio sounded just fine. I don't know
what you're talking about either.
There was nothing wrong with the audio. It sounded perfect because
this is what happened.
It sounded like it was really recorded live.
When you enunciate from inside your sinus cavity.
It never sounded like it was recorded from across the room either. Like, it was perfectly fine. Yeah. I didn't notice anything. Wrong with the audio.
I'm going to murder both of you.
You can't murder me. I'm already undead.
I'm the devil.
Well, stop deep-throating the mic like you're Linda Lovelace. Jesus. Okay. So, what happened, according to the director, is I don't know if they forgot to yell cut or what, but apparently all of the audio just had the production audio had people talking in the background, so they couldn't use any of it. So the entire movie is dubbed.
No, actually, there's a couple scenes that are not.
Yeah. There's a few, one or two scenes in the house, and then that scene at the end in the bridge where they have good, clean audio. Where he's like screaming because he thinks he's saved. Yeah, that's great. By comparison, it's great. Everything else is dubbed. But what you've noticed is, I think they just had a microphone. Maybe it was a karaoke mic. Maybe it was a tin can, and they seem to be passing it from person to person. They did all the sound effects. in mic. I think by mouth. I think whoever was holding the mic made the sound effects. They seem to just say what.
Foley.
Yeah, when they dubbed lines, they seem to like try to. They seem to like to not really care what the lip movements or script said, so they just said whatever and just let it go. They seemed to like they were dubbing it live too. Like, did anyone here have access to a video camera as a child?
Oh yeah.
Okay. What I used to do when I wanted to put music in my movies is I would record the film to the little DV cassette, and then I would record the cassette to the VCR, and then I would plug my CD player into the audio, so it would record the video from my camera and the audio from the CD player. So I would like track my own audio by stopping the record button. It seems to be what they did. Like they just did I don't have confirmation of this. I just think they just did odd take and just ran with it. They stop in the middle of the sentences. They make homemade sound effects with their mouths. What is interesting is I watched the Red Letter Media review of this, and they said that there was an interview in which one of the directors kept emphasizing that no one was drunk on the set, or maybe it was the Joe Bob episode. I watched both. And I think it's funny that they kept emphasizing that no one was drunk while recording the audio, because it definitely means people were drunk while recording the audio.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the Republicans against gay porn. It's like, we know why you keep talking about it. We know.
I mean, alcohol is the only way that I can excuse some of these performances that were turned in.
Now, to be fair to this movie, though, there were some.
No, we're not going to be fair to it.
There were some decent effects for a low-budget movie in the late 80s. There were some decent special effects.
Were there, though? I mean, Winter Beast at least had like the claymation to set it apart.
Yeah, well, that took them like 13 years to make. So
I watched a movie last night called Frostbiter from 1987, I think, 87,
Okay.
88. It's not SOV. It does have a budget, but they went all out with stop motion and puppets. The movie's unwatchable because they have blaring music in the background of every scene that's so loud the actors are literally shouting over it. And I'm not sure why that choice was made, because if it wasn't, it'd be watchable and fun. But man, does it put the effects in this shade.
You need to make another Patrick cut of that then, like you did when you were a kid. Just take the VCR and then record this and record that and make your own audio cut with all your free time.
With all of the mountains of free time I as an adult have.
I will say, in general, as a medium, puppets in horror movies is wildly unexplored, and honestly, I'm amazed the Muppets haven't gotten on it yet.
Well, there was the Muppet Haunted Mansion.
Oh, God. I mean, does that count as horror? Come on.
Yeah.
I could take my 10-year-old on the ride of that at Disney World. Does that really count as horror?
Does Mad God count? Because I was watching that right before we started recording.
Yeah, I saw Joe Bob's doing that one.
Yeah. Yeah, Phil Tippett is exactly the person you think he is.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Yeah, that tracks.
I saw 2 minutes of Mad God, and I'm like, I don't know what everyone's talking about. I totally understand this movie, and I hate it. It's just waves of pretension wafting off it. Like, I respect the craft and the art, but oof.
Yeah. So there's so many unexplained things in this movie.
Yeah, let's go for it.
There's a title drop.
Oh.
So can we talk about the title?
Sure.
Okay, so the movie starts cold open to like just the title waves, and like it's blurry and hazy and you can barely see it. Things.
Yeah.
And like a creepy font, but like they did like a Vaseline filter over the title drop.
Very oily.
Yeah.
The whole beginning scene is just weird, where it's got like this woman in a devil mask with terrible audio and just, I want you to have my baby.
What is it with shitty fucking straight to shot on video movies and just opening with like shitty dream sequences?
Okay.
Like Winter Beast did it, this movie did it.
Yeah. I don't know why dream sequence, but I can tell you that the story of the woman's funny. Okay, so the movie has the title, and then it has a dream sequence, and then it has a second title drop, and more credits.
Yeah. I had to check and make sure I wasn't tripping balls when I saw that, because no way do you put 2 title drops in this.
They totally did.
Wait till you watch The Abomination, Patrick. I watched the first couple of minutes of it and I thought I was watching the trailer for it, but no.
The Abomination, first film by the auteurs of Replicator.
Yes. Oof. But yeah, this it was. What were you gonna say about the? It was the chick that they showed naked for no real reason, but whatever.
Okay, so full frontal nudity in this movie immediately. It's a dream sequence where this woman is in a Halloween mask who has a nightmare demon baby. That all right, she's supposed to. I guess they're surrogate. There's a couple things to note. One is, if you buy this movie, Amberlynn is an above the title player.
Yes.
Amberlynn is like all of the credits you see. Amberlynn is first and foremost. She's first and foremost in the trailer too, right? So Amberlynn's a porn actress. She was extremely popular at the time. She was in Canada, making about $25,000 a week to dance on stage at their first fully nude strip club.
Good for her.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Get it, girl.
So she was there. I assume that the filmmakers thought, well, maybe if we get a porn star in the movie, it can like drum up some interest, because they got this movie in video stores across North America. This movie was everywhere in video stores.
There was no way I was involved in that. I would not have authorized that. Jesus Christ. Who did they make a deal with? Who's cutting in on my turf?
Probably the Polonia brothers. I don't know. But the thing here is they only had $2,500 to pay her. So they got 1 hour of work for that, and she would not appear nude for that amount of money. So that is why she is off to the side in a separate room away from the rest of this movie. They just had an hour. They just had it built a set, put her in there, made her a news anchor. But now they've got a porn store in the name of their movie. They need nudity. They need sex. Sex sells. They know that from every other movie that they've seen. So they're like, okay, what do we do? Being first-time filmmakers, they, for whatever reason, don't put in a casting call saying nudity required to try and get actresses who would be willing to do that.
Of course not. That'd be legitimate.
Yeah, what they instead do is they hire a hooker.
I feel like this is the plot to Milk Money.
No, the plot to Milk Money.
That was MILF Money.
Oh, kind of, because a bunch of kids saved up their money to buy a hooker. That was the plot of Milk Money. And I feel like we need to really explore what the fuck was going on in the 90s.
There will be a Milk Money reckoning. That will be part of any deal we make.
So, Milk
by the way,
reckoning.
did you know that Amberlynn had an older brother who was also a porn star?
Yes. Something Dix, right?
He went by, I know his name was Buck Adams. Is only
Buck Adams. Yes.
He's a porn star in the 90s. Dix was involved.
Usually where they do one, there's the other.
Now you know the whole story. The thing here is the reason she has a Halloween mask is she's like, well, okay, I'll do it, but I don't want you to show my face. The other thing here is one of the producers got arrested for soliciting, trying to make this happen.
But if you're doing it for film, if you're making a movie, isn't it okay?
I'm not sure how Canada works.
Does it make it better or worse if you're trying to pick up the hooker with a full film crew behind you?
Full film crew. Did you see this movie?
I think we should talk to Frank Henenlotter about that, actually.
Although I will say this, of the young woman who made the decision to appear nude but cover her face, honestly, good for her. That's a good career move. You don't want to be associated with this for the rest of your life. You're an honest working girl with standards.
So then all that happens and the movie cuts to the actual movie, which is two guys getting out of a car to go hang out in a house.
Yeah, and then they want to go through they're looking for beer, so they start going into his freezer where he finds a book and a tape player in the freezer. And then he takes his jacket off and puts it in the freezer.
Well, yeah, he doesn't want to get hot.
A couple things.
Says Satan.
Says Satan. When they find this movie references other horror movies like it's nothing.
Oh yeah.
When they find the tape recorder, they're like, "It's like The Evil Dead." Well, no shit. Why did you say that? Later, they talk about Amberlynn's talking about George Romero trying to get copyrights from the Night of the Living Dead as he's promoting Creepshow. That's a news story later on.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was another reference.
Oh, there was another one. Hold on. I actually recorded it. It was this one.
Oh, well, where he used to live was this last house on the left, and he stalled it. But, that's another story.
Yeah, that was the one I was thinking of.
Yep.
It's giving very big. Notice me, senpai.
This was in video stores, guys.
Who would allow this in their video store? Jesus.
I mean, how many video stores do you see anymore? Does it seem like they made good decisions?
Good point.
Yeah, they say the book is by Aleister Crowley, but it's nothing that I've ever heard of, so I don't.
Oh yeah, in the beginning,
I think they're just throwing names.
I just had too much because he's like, the diagrams are sick.
Yeah.
I mean, and let's be real, Al had like so many ghostwriters.
Yeah, well, he kind of just did the one thing, which is write poems about eating shit.
As you do, it's an honest day's work.
So when are we gonna review Solo?
Hey Satan, is that one your fault too? I gotta know on that one.
Okay, look, I'm gonna be 100% upfront with you guys. I have been responsible for some pretty fucked up shit in my time. The Visigoths were a goddamn glee club before I set them up to sack Rome. The burning of the library at Alexandria was my master's thesis. I personally co-signed the loan that financed the room. That was me. Like, that wouldn't have happened without me. So, like, I've had my hands in some shit. I don't claim Sallow, and I don't fucking claim this shit. Talk to someone else.
You heard it here first, folks.
I get enough
not
shit.
Responsible.
I get enough fucking shit as it is. I am not dealing with this. I have standards.
Yes, all right.
Speaking of standards, the director of this film does not classify it as a horror movie. Would you like to know how Andrew Jordan, the director of this movie, describes it?
Wait, Andrew Jordan is a director?
Andrew Jordan's the director. Barry J. Giles did not direct this movie.
I thought he did.
I'm sorry, Barry J. Gillis. No.
Yeah. Oh,
no Barry J. Gillis directs all of the other movies we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
But no, this particular first one, Andrew Jordan actually should produce is your director on this one.
Okay.
He describes it as, see if I can say this without laughing, a postmodern film about filmmaking.
Boo.
Hey, I need you to dirty talk me a little next time you say that, buddy, because if you're gonna fucking suck my dick like that, just fucking do it right. Christ. Postmodern? Does he fucking even know what postmodern means? Like, this movie isn't postmodern. It came out the same year the fucking Tim Burton's Batman did.
Well, the other thing about being a postmodern film about filmmaking is it is not a film about filmmaking. Full stop.
There's nothing about filmmaking in this movie. I mean, even the making of the film was not filmmaking.
It's a more apropos metaphor for the horrors of in vitro fertilization and the fertility industry than a movie about filmmaking. Christ.
So you did get something from it.
I don't want to talk about it.
You did get the message. Well, the movie, the music was excellent. As you could kind of hear in that clip I was starting to play, that Last House on the Left, there was the that lovely Tailspin song that everyone talks about.
Was that Strike?
No,
who
listen.
Was Strike 9? Was that just one of the director's bands?
So I gotta say I'm gonna let Dustin field this one because he loves this so much. He actually has a vinyl pressing of the soundtrack of this movie.
Yeah. I wonder who got that for me for Christmas one year. I don't even have a record player anymore. The only single vinyl I own is the fucking Thing soundtrack.
I feel like the two of you have a lot of things you need to re-examine in your relationship with each other that I'm really not qualified to deal with. This doesn't feel healthy.
No, listen, I know he makes it out like he hates this movie, but he actually owns a physical copy of it on DVD.
Oh wait. You sent that to me as well. Son of a bitch.
Have you guys seen a therapist? I can recommend a couple.
Hold on. I got the song if you want to hear a little bit of the Tailspin song. Hang on. Shit, that was the wrong Tailspin song. I'm sorry. That was the early 90s Disney cartoon Tailspin. I'll look for the other one. Hang on, sorry. Anyway, we can continue on with the movie.
Do we have to?
Does anyone want to talk about the part where Doug looks at a drawing and says, "Oh yeah, my niece did that before we tortured and ate her"? It comes out of nowhere. It goes out of nowhere. Is it supposed to be a joke? Is it supposed to be a thing that happened? What? What is going on in this movie?
Let it out. If you keep it in, the more it'll hurt you.
It's just two drunk Canadians talking about how there's no beer while fake ants roam around the apartment set to the worst audio we've ever heard in bisexual lighting. And I don't understand what is going on.
Okay, first off, don't bring up the bisexual lighting because, like, we do not want to associate that with the bisexual community. They get enough shit as it is. Like, don't give them this.
At one point in the movie when they're just kind of looking around. All right, so flat out honesty, Fred is my favorite character in this movie. He's my favorite.
He's everyone's favorite character
because his delivery, everything about him is just magnificent. But then he disappears at one point, and they think he disappears into a mouse hole.
Yes, that's what they said.
Yeah. Hold on, I got that.
What the fuck?
Where's Fred?
I think he went into the third, fourth, and fifth dimension.
It looks like he got sucked into that mouse hole.
This is actually the first time we've talked about the multiverse in podcast form, but this is like what 30 years before Spider-Man did it. Just saying.
There's no fucking multiverse. They could not get him to film on one day, so they.
The best part about that is he was available to film later, so he just shows back up again with no explanation.
Well, yeah, it's D&D rule. You know, you just kind of drop him whenever you're free.
Yeah, but he got like a fake chainsaw in between sessions.
Because all this shit.
He leveled up. He's allowed to get loot.
He had to film a lot of this stuff linearly. Yeah.
Speaking of filming, like these people couldn't have been available that often because they're almost never in the same scene.
Oh yeah, that's friggin' hilarious to me.
Well, someone has to make the sandwiches.
There are never more than 2 actors on screen at any given time, and their top billed actress never interacts with any of the main cast.
This is true. So
let's be realistic. We're being charitable calling this a movie. At most, it is a series of vignettes.
It's no, Satan. It's a series of things.
God damn it.
You have just experienced things.
I've seen better productions on middle school theater plays than this.
That's what this is. This is a child's movie directed by adults.
Is Don the brother who was drinking the beer, or was that Doug?
They're both drinking beers, but everyone knows there ain't no beers here. Everyone alive in this house knows there ain't no beers here.
Except for the beers they drank earlier.
The main actor in this, the brother whose friend Fred disappears. I don't know. I'm not gonna fucking keep his name.
Yeah. His name is Don. He's played by Barry J. Gillis, who was a creative on this film, and then would go on to direct other movies later. Yeah. And we're gonna be talking about those in a little bit.
Oh yes, we will.
Do we have to?
Yes, one in particular.
Satan, I think that it needs to be stated at this point that this podcast has officially donated money to Barry J. Gillis to finish his most recent film, which stars Bret Hart and Corey Feldman.
Yes. So not only are we a podcast, but we are actually producers on a Barry J. Gillis movie, Tales from the Dead Zone.
This is a Stephen King novel. Fellas, I'm going to be realistic with you guys. None of what you are saying is giving me any motivation to bring you chuckle fucks back from the dead.
Well, I thought you wanted to like wreak evil on the earth.
Not like this.
It's Bret the Hitman Hart and Corey Feldman.
And it's been in production for like 6 years, so I'm sure it's going to come out eventually and isn't some sort of money laundering scheme.
Not at all.
Winter Beast came out.
Winter Beast did come out.
If you look up Tales of the Dead Zone on IMDb, there's only like 150 producers of this film. So it's completely legit.
Are we sure that's the title? Are we sure Stephen King hasn't filed suit?
Well, Stephen King's is The Dead Zone. This is Tales from the Dead Zone.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, word. Dead Zone, one word? Oh, God, they made it one word?
Mm-hmm.
Christ, that's transformative.
It's Satan. It's 2 different fonts.
Like, between King's Dead Zone or...
No, between Tales of the Dead and Dead Zone. Dead Zone's a separate font.
And we all know that Corey Feldman is the comeback king from his hit song that we've all listened to several times.
Is it called the Comeback King? Is that the joke?
Have you never heard that song?
I have heard Corey Feldman songs, but I can't keep track of them.
Boy,
it's whatever one he did with the Angels a couple years ago. We all saw that video.
Fuck.
The one where he's like the Wish version of Michael Jackson.
Well, that's what he always does. He's done that for like 20 years.
Oh, he's got like the full-on red leather jacket and everything. Mm-hmm. It's fucking bad.
It's so weird.
So I'm going to be upfront. I just dissociated for like the last 3 minutes over Tales from the Dead Zone. So like, I don't know what the fuck.
That's okay, because dissociating for long periods of times is the experience of watching things. I have watched this movie twice in my life, and I can't tell you that I gave it my full concentration at either time.
Watched it 4 times now.
How did you watch it 4 times?
Well, one time I watched it because I was like, hey, I want to make a video game based on this. And I just slowly started going insane. So I stopped. And then I had to watch it again to kind of remember all this shit. And it was it was bad. But one thing that I did get from this movie was the absolute most Canadian line ever in a horror movie. Are you ready for it?
Blood is just dripping like maple syrup.
Blood is just dripping like maple syrup is the most Canadian horror phrase ever.
Bob and Doug McKenzie could never fucking parody that. That's
no.
I feel like that's a hate crime.
This whole movie feels like that. It's the most misanthropic movie I've ever seen. It just actively hates you as a human. You okay there, devil?
No, I will never be okay again. I have been cast out from heaven and had my grace and my wings ripped from my corporeal form and been reduced to the form of a serpent, and I was doing better after that than I am right now.
So let's talk about the cheese sandwiches.
The cockroach cheese sandwiches?
The extended sandwich making scene in the middle of this movie.
Why do I have no memory of that?
I'm starting to think you might be a little sane if you have no memory of that. So why would you want to remember that?
Okay, but cockroach cheese sandwiches? Help me understand.
So they're Fred. Is Fred still around at this point? I think so.
Yeah, because he helps make the sandwich.
Yeah, so they're making sandwiches to eat. This is after Susan died?
Does it matter? Does it really matter?
I don't know.
I don't know. At one point there was like 10 minutes, but there was no dialogue. So it's like, I don't really know. I think this was after that.
It's just an extended shot of them making sandwiches with only cheese.
And I think this was coming right after the gruesome birth scene.
Yes, I think so. I think Doug's wife just exploded while giving birth, and a demon ant came out of her, and then they're reconciling with that.
A-N-T ant, not a demon A-U-N-T. That's a completely different movie.
Yeah, that happens when you go to your family reunion or something. What happens here is that all happens, and then to emotionally process that, they make sandwiches.
As you do.
As one does.
I feel like my favorite part of the movie was there towards the end where Don, right? Don has watched his brother and his friends die multiple times and come back from the dead multiple times. And just as he's about to leave, the fucking evil scientist bursts in and just proceeds to gaslight the shit out of him. And tries to blame him for murdering his friends. It's very gaslight gatekeep girl boss.
# winning.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that doctor's his death scene though. I had to record that audio because it was also fantastic and not at all over the top. It was completely natural.
Creatures with no soul are devouring me.
It's like Gilbert Gottfried on helium.
Creatures with no soul.
I don't know if there's other trivia here. It's like one of the reasons I want to talk about things is like we've been talking about things the entire podcast. We've been referencing it and given no one any indication as to what Things is. And it's just the worst fucking thing. It's the worst movie. There is not a worse movie than Things, because anything worse than Things is not a movie, period. This is it. You want to know what the worst is in terms of quality? It's Things.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it is right in the line between, yeah.
It makes you physically angry to watch it. Although I will be honest with you, on the second viewing, I did laugh like 2 or 3 times.
I think that's the madness setting in.
It could have been. Yeah, I think at that point you just don't know.
That feels like the madness.
I laughed like at the plastic fish scene, because like at one point Fred just taps a fish on the wall and goes, "Yep, it's plastic."
Yeah.
I've written down my laughs.
Fred is the best.
And then I laughed at the scene where they hit Doug in the head with the fire hydrant fire extinguisher. For some reason, that was extremely funny to me.
Yeah. The French have a term for what you're feeling. It's called l'appel du vide, or the call of the void.
That's what compels you to press play on things in the first place. Also, when it finally got to the end of the movie, and everyone listening, I've made this joke twice. When you get to the end of the film, it fades to black and words pop up that say, "You have just experienced Things."
Yep.
And it holds there for a minute, and then the credits start. And I broke down in hysterics staring at that screen this time.
Because it's really the best summation of this movie. You don't watch things. You don't enjoy things. You survive things. You experience things. It's like a traumatic assault on your senses.
You are. It is assaulted. You are assaulted by this film. I watched the last drive-in highlights of this film, and the exact verbiage that Joe Bob used is, "You are about to be assaulted by things." Same exact verbiage. Because that's what this movie is. It's hostile against you. You endure it. You're never the same again. This Things is trauma.
I remember I was in a hotel room watching this, and I was just angry. Like, I was not happy about it. I shut it off. I'm like, and I sent you messages like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
You did. It's like 9/11. Where were you when you saw Things?
Mm-hmm.
And I was standing in my living room. I threw the remote at the couch, just chunked it.
Something about this movie just awakens an inherent rage at the unfairness of the world. This movie did to me what Robert Pattinson did to that one thug in the opening of The Batman.
Jesus.
I will say, if you drink every time someone says "what," and also make someone else watch this movie, and you're making them do it, but you're drinking, I could see where the enjoyment might come in.
No,
that's just a murder-suicide.
Oh, if you want to hear murder-suicide,
it's a great album.
I got a clip of that Corey Feldman Comeback King song. Hold on. Now you got to hear it. It's fantastic.
I'm the comeback king.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh God, it's so bad.
It sounds like it's like the introduction to Goof Troop.
Have we got a few minutes here that we can edit around? I want to send something to chat real quick. So Barry J. Gillis is he's the guy who is playing Don, and he's the guy who continues to make terrible, terrible movies after this. So some of them you might have seen on Best of the Worst with Red Letter Media. But what he also is a amateur musician. Satan, if you could just watch this video real quick.
Oh, okay. Woman in a bikini.
Well, you watch that.
What the fuck? Was that a goddamn juggalo?
This is a man in his 50s wearing Sting makeup in this music video.
What? What?
I think it's supposed to be Sting.
Listeners, that is the experience of watching Thing. That's what it sounds like the entire.
Why does he sound like Riff Raff?
Does not want to touch him whatsoever.
He's never going to let us come to the Toronto premiere.
Oh, he has to. I paid for that. Yeah, it's he's singing in Sting's makeup is just too much for me.
Is Satan okay? Did we lose Satan?
We might have. That might have broke him. The road to sadness is what broke Satan.
I give up. I paused it like 90 seconds ago, and I've just been sitting here in stunned silence. I mean,
so as you can see, he continues along with the fantastic movie making.
It's good to know he still doesn't know how to fucking color balance.
So yeah, in addition to this movie sounding like shit, it looks like shit. The colors are all blown out. You can't tell what's going on in any capacity. It's shot on video, but like also the worst video you've ever seen.
Yeah,
shitty-o.
Yeah.
So, whatever happened with Fred in this movie? Because I looked up his IMDb and it linked to somebody else. Like, if you look up his IMDb, it's like his name is Bruce Roach, but that's also the name of some liberal arts professor somewhere else who was in another movie about a transgender superhero or something like that. But it's not Fred. I watched it and Fred wasn't in there. I was kind of bummed out.
I don't know. I didn't do a lot of research here. I just watched a couple of interviews with some people. Like,
There's not much research to do. There's nothing. Nobody did anything except for.
It's like okay, this was the closest we ever feel to like a true crime podcast, not in rigor, but in effect and affect. Not in rigor, but in affect for the edit. Because it's there's nothing really to learn, but my God, the bodies on the floor, the carnage that's left in the wake of things.
Yep. Did you notice, by the way, in the credits of the movie, that the nude lady was literally credited as nude lady?
Yeah, probably because they didn't get her name. I'm assuming she worked for cash and they never saw her again. I could be wrong.
Again, I feel we need to reiterate. Good for her.
Yeah.
She made the smartest decision of anybody involved in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, including the person writing cue cards for Amberlynn.
Oh God, that couldn't hold them by the camera. Held them like 10 feet away. So she had to keep looking way over there.
Obvious looking to the right of the camera or left of the camera. A direction away from the camera.
Yes, not at the camera like a news person would.
It's like that gag from the producers. One cue card so far, stage left.
And it was stage left, yes.
Yeah. Also, another fun thing in the credits was thanking Tony Iommi of Black Sabbath. Did you watch?
I just think he's neat.
No. At the very end, it said like Things was filmed in and around metropolitan Toronto and is dedicated to 20 years of Tony Iommi, Black Sabbath, and our fans worldwide. And special thanks is extended to Gordon Lucas, whoever the fuck that is. But yeah,
fans worldwide. This was their first movie.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was talking about Black Sabbath fans or
no. I think theirs.
Well, they've got they're tens of us.
Dozens of us.
Dozens of us. Did we do this movie justice? Like, I don't know if did we even talk about this movie?
I don't think we did. I don't think there's a way to talk about this. I get through the movie and I'm like, did I even watch it? Did I watch anything? It's like a fever dream. When you're watching it on screen, you're like, wait, what's going on? What's going on? What's happening? What's going on? Then you get to the end of the movie, you're like, wait, did I watch a thing?
Yeah.
There is no way to have a cogent conversation about this movie that does not devolve into the wails of the damned.
Do you remember when he made his brother go check the bathroom for him to make sure that it was safe of giant killer ants so that he could take a piss?
I think I missed that.
Do.
Yeah, and he's got this drill and like, one part that I do love is Fred. When Fred came back out of nowhere, out of the third, fourth, fifth dimension, wherever the hell he was, he comes back with a chainsaw and is just mowing down these giant weird ant things.
A totally believable chainsaw that doesn't have dubbed over Foley by someone's mouth.
Not one bit. This movie was Canadian. I think Dave did all the Foley work on this.
I think the thing that really got me was just so many fucking people worked on this movie. The credits were so fucking long. The credits for Winter Beast were like half as long as this movie, and it was a marginally better film.
But it was better.
Was it? I don't know which. Well, okay, I'd probably rather watch Winter Beast than things again. If I was forced to watch something, it'd probably be that.
At minimum, there are more tits in Winter Beast.
Like, if nothing else, but for the dick in the box alone.
Yes, that's never referenced ever again
or acknowledged.
Yeah, just my dick in
honestly,
the box.
I feel like that really would have made things. It's just a dick in the box.
Yeah, no, if there had been something like that on screen, I think that it would be more watchable. Sure,
right. So now we got to just come up with our own things movie. Like it's got to be done. Something's got to be done.
Call it Stuff.
Let's do a sequel. Yeah, we'll do an unofficial sequel just called Stuff.
Things too.
No, we're not calling it Things 2. We're going reverse Aliens, and it's just Thing.
Well, isn't there one of those? Oh, that's the Thing, right? Of course,
that's
there's no
thing.
article.
As long as we don't say it's clobber in time, we're clean and clear.
This episode has gone off the fucking rails.
Okay, can we? Are we alive yet? Are you going to give us back our bodies? I think we won.
I mean, I wouldn't call what just happened winning. I think we all just kind of lost.
That's my approach to everything.
But I mean, I will make you a new deal. You don't make me watch any more of these fucking movies, and you can fucking live forever.
Sounds like a plan.
Congratulations, you chuckle fucks can spend the rest of eternity fucking torturing each other. There's nothing I could do better than what you guys are already doing. So abracadabra, abracapoo. You are now alive, and so are you.
Sweet.
Okay.
Because I really want to eat some pizza rolls right now. I'm tired of eating brains.
Oh yeah, no, sorry. I still got to get my lumps in for making you watch this. Everything is going to taste like ash in your mouth from now on.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Wait.
Go fuck yourself.
Wait, did you say ash or ass?
I don't know. Why don't you find out?
This is just COVID symptoms.
Roll those dice, big boy.
So while they enact a fan fiction in the other room, I do have to ask, Devil, before we break the circle and release you back into the
Oh, fuck, it's ash.
Before we release you from the circle of binding, so that you can go back on your merry way, we like to we like to have everyone play one final game.
In a way, I brought you here to offer you a job. You think you can do it better, so here's your chance.
Does God really sound like that?
Do you want my honest impression of what God sounds like?
I just wanted a confirmation if it was the correct voice. I didn't say go wild, but whatever.
He's not so much Morgan Freeman. It's more like Matthew McConaughey in True Detective, honestly.
All right.
Okay.
I mean, really, when it comes down to it, you just gotta smile whoever you need to smile to get through the day, baby. I'm here to do one thing, and that is huff as much paint as I can, and smack the wicked, you know? And that's what gets you through the day.
Yeah, he's a fucking prick. There's a reason we don't talk anymore.
Wait. That was so much closer to Leslie Jordan than I expected. I love it.
He was God. What if God were one of us?
Hey y'all.
I'm just gonna bebop on down here and water my begonias.
Those are marigolds.
Marigolds. By George, I think she's right.
Satan, if you could try to make this movie better, or maybe more like a movie at all, by changing 3, and God help you, only 3 things.
Yeah.
What would
I don't know if anybody's ever said "God help you" to the devil.
Okay,
that's a good point.
I've got this. I know exactly what 3 things. I know exactly what 3 things I would change.
Okay.
And that would be the director's name to Paul Thomas Anderson.
Now, what if this was his first movie? Is it going to be his best?
Nothing else changes. He's working with the same equipment, the same cast, the same crew. Now it's Paul Thomas Anderson trying to whip this ship in a game. And my God, it's still going to be fucking terrible, but it will be entertaining as all get out.
Okay. What else we got?
I don't know. I don't have a joke for that.
What are your other 2 things?
My other 2 things. Well, as the devil, I would replace the weird, like, rubber ant monster things with actual hell ants. They are 7-foot-long arthropods that spew fire. That'd be my first thing. You know, got to get those practical effects in.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And then for the third thing, I'd pay Amberlynn enough money to get her tits out.
Well, Devil, I'm sure it was as miserable for you as it was for us. Thanks for coming. Do you have any last words for the people? You want to tell them where they can find you? Plug your pluggables.
What the hell is wrong with you?
I know about a really cool little D&D live streaming live on Twitch Mondays at 8:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. Go look up Foco Arcano for some great D&D play with a cast of people from around the world. Beyond that,
I knew the devil was behind Dungeons and Dragons. All those 80s people were right. They were right.
I'm not behind Dungeons and Dragons. I'm just a casual partaker. Everybody needs a hobby. Well, you're telling me
I'm going to become born again thanks to that comment.
Are you telling me you do this shit for fun?
Well, I mean, it's kind of for the paycheck, honestly.
Let's be honest here. He does this to torture me.
Honestly, I respect the hustle.
All right.
And beyond that, trans rights are human rights. Support your local abortion clinic, and Pat Robertson says hi.
Oh, Jesus.
You're gonna have to bleep that one out, aren't you?
No, that one I'm keeping. He's dead. What's he gonna
do? Oh my God. This is a hell of an episode.
Exactly.
This is our Halloween episode. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween. Well, now that we're both alive, I'm sure you can help me clean all these blood and guts before
I gotta catch a flight. I'm
sorry.
Right? I gotta go.
You son of a...
I was supposed to fly out 4 fucking weeks ago. I don't even want to know what my lilies look like at home. They're probably all dead by now. I have a garden to tend to, Patrick, and I need to take care of them. I'm sorry I cannot help you pick up all of this. Oh, God damn, it's a mess here. I'm sure your wife will help you when she gets back. It'll be fine.
You son of a bitch. Well, we're Found on Shelf. You can find our podcast at any podcatcher of your choice. If you want to reach out to us on social, we are Found on Shelf Pod, all one word, on whatever social media has won the Thunderdome, be it Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, Whoopsie Doop, Womps, Chortle, Sluggo, whatever the newest the newest social media is out there, we're on it, and we will have the same limited reach as we do now. But if you want to get in touch with us, tell us movies that we could watch, maybe something that's better than Things, for the love of God, or something that's worse than Things. Is that possible? Is it possible to be worse than Things? Tweet at us. Tell us wow. Apart from that, you can catch us every other week.
Yeah, that is right. Yeah, we'll be back here with some fun music-based movies. I believe we're going to be doing in a couple weeks. Now that we're back, so yeah, I think that's about it.
I gotta go lit a fucking a plumber in my apartment now.
You weren't going to do Tailspin with a real one?
I got it. God damn it.
Yeah, well, it's like life. Nothing and everything is happening all at the same time in this entropic, like, dance into the void. And so is Things.